I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people.
And it was pretty much said like Jay doesn't really want awards. Well, he go to the Grammys.
Right.
He you know, come into the black-owned spaces. Let's figure out how to work together so that way we have the relationship when it matters, not when it's convenient for you and your image. Because they all call us when the story is up that they...
Jason Lee just declared war on Beyonce, and this time is not holding back. What started as quiet whispers between entertainment insiders has now exploded into an all-out confrontation. Lee says the power couple, Jay-Z and Beyonce, are trying to destroy him, ban him, and silence him forever. All because he stumbled onto information that could tear open one of the most protected images in modern pop culture. He claims he's been targeted by platforms that once welcomed him, blacklisted by media outlets that owe him favors, and stalked by industry players acting under orders from the Carters themselves. According to Lee, this is personal and it's only the beginning. We've heard Jason exaggerate before, but this moment feels different. He's not teasing gossip anymore. He's naming names, pointing to events, daring the world to connect the dots. In one of his recent live streams, he repeated the same chilling phrase. They are trying to destroy me, ban me, and all on the orders of Jay-Z and Beyonce after I found dirt on them. He insists he has evidence of behind-the-scenes deals, hidden payoffs, and a pattern of intimidation that stretches back more than 2 decades. And when he calls Beyonce the main criminal among the gatekeepers of the industry, it's not just an insult, it's a warning. The accusations sound wild until we remember how often this world protects its royalty. Beyonce has built a flawless empire of control, curating every image, every camera angle, every word that reaches the public. Lee says that polish comes at a cost. He claims that anyone who threatens to disturb it, from journalists to former employees, is erased through quiet buyouts, sealed NDAs, or in some cases worse. And if that sounds paranoid, we can't ignore how the same whispers have hovered around Jay-Z's empire since the early 2000s. The timing of this new fallout couldn't be more explosive. Jay-Z has just been pulled into a civil case involving a 2000 after-party with Sean Combs, while federal investigators dig through Diddy's own pile of accusations ranging from racketeering to trafficking.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Lee isn't focusing on Jay-Z's court troubles. He's zeroed in on Beyonce, describing her as a real strategist, the one orchestrating power plays while the world applauds her artistry. In Lee's telling, Jay-Z's scandals are distractions. The Queen herself is a puppet master, and for an audience that has worshipped Beyonce as a symbol of female dominance, hearing her framed as a ruthless operator isn't just shocking, it's disorienting. Lee wants the world to believe that behind the glow of halo and renaissance, there's a machinery of fear and silence. What exactly does he know? And how far will he go to prove it? That's where things get darker. He's hinted that the story leads back to the early 2000s, the years when Beyonce's star began to eclipse every other woman in R&B. Those were the same years when another young icon, Aaliyah, was taken from the scene under tragic and controversial circumstances. The official record says Aaliyah's plane went down in the Bahamas on August 25, 2001, overloaded with luggage after filming her final music video. But from the day it happened, the story never sat right with the public. The pilot wasn't certified. Traces of illegal substances were found in his system, and reports say Aaliyah herself didn't even want to board the plane. Then came the theories. Claims that she'd been silenced because she knew too much about the wrong people.
Sweetest person you can know, very intelligent. She knew what she was about and she knew what she wanted to do with her life.
Insiders from that era remember how tight the circle was around Rockefeller Records. Jay-Z, Damon Dash, and P. Diddy were all moving in the same orbit, and Aaliyah was connected to each of them. She had dated Dash and was rumored to have caught Jay-Z's attention before that. Even then, whispers of rivalry followed the group. According to some in the industry, Aaliyah's rising fame threatened to overshadow Beyonce, who was only beginning her solo career after Destiny's Child. The suggestion that her tragic end cleared the path for Beyonce's superstardom has always been dismissed as internet mythology. But Lee is now dragging that theory out of the archives and placing it in a new, more menacing context. is pointing to the same pattern that investigators are now combing through in the Diddy case, a network of high-profile figures linked through parties, private jets, and powerful silence. Lee claims Beyoncé isn't just part of that network. She's one of the few who can command it. The accusation aligns uncomfortably with social media speculation that resurfaced earlier this year after Diddy's arrest on racketeering and trafficking charges. Users on TikTok circulated old footage of celebrities publicly praising Beyoncé, arguing those tributes were a coded form of allegiance. Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Diddy have all been accused by conspiracy channels of belonging to an elite circle of gatekeepers, the ones who decide who rises and who disappears. Normally, that talk lives on the fringes of the internet. But now, with Jason Lee giving it oxygen, it's breaking into mainstream feeds.
Weirdo. Don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever.
Behind that noise are real court filings and timelines that can't be ignored. Jay-Z's name appears in a civil complaint filed in New York in late 2024, alleging an assault involving a 13-year-old attendee at a music event in 2000. His legal team calls it blackmail, pure fabrication. Still, the inclusion of his name alongside Diddy reignited questions about what really happened during those wild Rockefeller years. Lee insists those questions point toward Beyoncé's hidden influence, the woman who, he says, used connections and fear to clean up every mess that might touch her husband. We can't confirm that claim, but the timing is cruelly poetic. Every headline about Jay-Z's legal fight now drags a name into the mud, and Lee seems to know exactly how to keep it there. Meanwhile, fragments of Aaliyah's story keep reappearing in the background like a ghost refusing to rest. Investigations into her final hours reveal details that have only deepened the mystery. Witnesses on the island said she didn't want to fly that day, that she'd taken a pill and fallen asleep before being carried onto the plane. Official reports confirmed the aircraft was hundreds of pounds overweight. And yet, despite the evidence of negligence, the settlements that followed were sealed, the details locked away. To Lee and those who share his suspicions, that secrecy looks less like legal procedure and more like the industry protecting its own.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling.
He's even hinted at new information about Aaliyah's last interactions, particularly with Damon Dash and Jay-Z, will surface soon, claiming it exposes a pattern of elimination that began long before Beyoncé became untouchable. It's the kind of claim that could get someone sued or worse, ostracized completely. But Lee says he no longer cares. He's already been cut off from the events, the labels, and the insiders who once fed him tips. Now is turning those same contacts into ammunition, teasing recordings, dates, even old contracts that he says prove how deep Beyoncé's control runs. What's striking is how organized his narrative has become. His drawing lines between the lawsuits against Diddy, the civil cases involving Jay-Z, and the strange accidents that have haunted their orbit for years. We've seen him post old photos of Aaliyah and Jay-Z together, screenshots of settlements, even snippets of closed-door meetings from industry executives. Whether it's genuine evidence or performance hardly matters. The internet is listening and the tension is spreading fast. For Beyoncé's camp, silence has been the strategy. No official statement, no legal response, not even a denial through publicists. That silence only fuels speculation. Every day, she doesn't respond. More creators stitch together old interviews, finding coded gestures, linking her to the same elite web that prosecutors say Diddy used to mask his alleged misconduct. And in that chaos, Jason Lee is thriving. He's positioning himself as a whistleblower the mainstream press ignored, the one willing to name the queen herself.
Talking earlier, it feels different to be married. It really does. And it feels good, doesn't it?
Feels great.
And how long were you and Jay-Z together before you got married?
Oh gosh, listen to me. I'm about to start yapping.
Yeah.
We've been together a long time. It's been about 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
7 years. But it does feel different, doesn't it?
What we're seeing now feels like the prelude to something larger. A shift in how celebrity power shields itself. If Lee truly has the receipts he claims, the fallout could shatter more than reputations. Yet, There's an unmistakable sense that is also playing with fire. The last time someone tried to tie Beyoncé and Jay-Z to Aaliyah's fate, the story vanished overnight. Scrubbed from platforms, the source is discredited. Lee knows that history and still is pressing forward. He says it's just getting started. But if Beyoncé's past is any indication, he won't be the first to vanish after crossing her.